You've definitely seen this story before. Someone starts a YouTube channel full of passion and confidence, makes great videos, and fails. And the worst part is when that story is yours, because it doesn't matter if you're doing miracles behind the scenes if you never show them to the world. On YouTube, that looks like nobody clicking your videos. A lot of people think content is the most important thing, but that's like saying what's inside one box is better than what's inside another. It means nothing if no one ever opens it. That's the job of your title and thumbnail. They're the signal to the world that you built something amazing. And most creators ignore this, basically sentencing their videos to the abyss of being forgotten. But today's video is the net that catches you mid-fall and throws you even higher than you ever jumped, so you don't end up being that guy.
John wanted to jump into the business world. He came up with a visionary product, a stone with a shine so beautiful it literally caught everyone's eye. He set up his little stand and started selling. But no one showed up. Then John looked to the side and saw his competitor with a full line of customers. Rocks with glitter? Who would ever buy that? But that's reality. In business and on YouTube. Poor John.
A lot of big YouTubers won't even consider posting a video unless they already have a solid title and thumbnail. That's how important this stuff is. For example, look at these titles. Doing an ollie on a skateboard, I traveled to a desert, I learned how to make a strawberry cake. Now let's tweak them just a little. I tried a dangerous trick on my first day skateboarding. Did I break my leg? I got stuck in the desert for a day. I survived the scorpion. How to make an amazing strawberry cake using only what you already have in your fridge. See how tiny details you barely notice completely change how curious you are to click. And what about you? Do you remember a video you couldn't stop yourself from clicking on? Pay attention to your feed for a minute and notice which videos stand out and which don't. The difference is night and day. The attention market isn't just our problem. Big brands spend millions just to stand out on a single grocery store shelf. Think about it. You want a pack of cookies. You've never tried any of the brands there. How do you choose? Price? Name? The truth is, you already decided the moment you saw it, and that's exactly the job of your thumbnail. Compete with every other video on the screen and win. Just so you get how crazy this is. Changing a single character in a title can be the difference between a video being hype or completely dead. Take this example. You can clearly see this video was at the end of its life until something happened. It came back. Why? The title changed from 2024 to 2025 and then to 2026. If you saw one video called 2025 tutorial and another called 2026 tutorial, which one would you click? Now imagine all it took was changing one number. That's the power of a title. And in this video, you're going to learn everything you need to actually put this into practice. This isn't another Be More Creative video. This is your formula to always have a viral video. Every title and thumbnail has to be a direct hit. Know exactly who you're trying to reach and build the perfect bait for that person. Because once you apply what you're about to learn today, you'll understand how to multiply your channel's views by dozens, even hundreds of times. Even if you're still small, you can see it on screen right now with creators who pulled it off too. Maybe for them it was luck, but now you're the one in control. And to start the right way, we need to go back to the very beginning. Thumbnails, they're the first thing your future viewer is ever going to see. You need to tell a story. You need to send a message without using words. Just like the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. This is where you prove it's true. You can communicate a lot with tiny details. Use exaggerated facial expressions to show the emotion you want people to feel. Pick one clear object that explains what the video is about. Use bold colors and strong contrast so your image doesn't get lost in the crowd. And yes, we can't ignore the classic clickbait elements. Love them or hate them, they're used because they work. So yeah, use as many arrows and circles as you need. But like I said before, you're leaving here with the formula. Don't think you can just throw random stuff on the screen and it'll magically work. There are patterns you need to follow. The first one is using a face. People connect with people, especially through the eyes. So make the face big, expressive, and impossible to ignore. Another key element is an object. Highlight it near the center and make sure it's not confusing. That object should instantly explain what the viewer is about to get from the video. One strategy that works insanely well is using panels. Multiple images in the same thumbnail to show progression. Highlight the change with color, and don't forget, The order should go from left to right, since that's how people naturally read what's on screen. Text should be used sparingly. Just like I mentioned earlier, it's there to help understanding and increase curiosity about the image you created. So if you can't explain your video using only images, don't take the no text rule too seriously. But with YouTube translating videos more and more, the less you rely on language, the better your content will perform globally. Now, don't look at clickbait elements as something bad. They work, and that's what matters. So don't be afraid to use arrows, circles, pointing hands, and even emojis. They're basically the soul of YouTube. You should also create contrast and perspective by showing two extremes. That can be literal, like something huge next to something tiny, or more indirect, like a clean, perfect scene versus a total disaster. That contrast sparks curiosity because people want to know how things went from this to that. One way to stand out is through controlled chaos. A messy-looking background makes whatever you place in the center pop, whether it's an object, a face, or anything else. Just don't confuse chaos with randomness. There's still a structure behind it, so don't do it carelessly. Another thing that catches people off guard is action. Even in a still image, you want to show movement. That feeling of action makes people want to click and see what happens next. And don't forget about color. If you want to trigger a specific emotion, use the color wheel to choose complementary colors that remind people of that feeling, or use opposing colors to create tension, contrast, and grab attention instantly. With all of this, you'll be able to create strong thumbnails. Plan which of these techniques you're going to use, and yes, you can combine multiple at once. Mixing them prevents your channel from feeling repetitive when someone clicks through your videos. But don't think it stops here. There's still more we can do to level this up. You should also build a recognizable identity. One element that appears in every thumbnail so people instantly know the video is yours. That can be your face or a symbol you choose. In an upcoming video, you'll learn how to build loyal fans. And once you have them, you'll want them to recognize your videos instantly, because no matter the topic, they'll click just because it's you. Another way to check if your thumbnail actually works is by using a grid. Split the image into 9 sections and check if your key elements sit on the lines or intersections. Your brain naturally looks at those spots even without seeing the grid, and that's exactly where your most important elements should be. Now, how do you know if your thumbnail won't get ignored while people scroll the feed? There are 2 ways to test that. The first one is simple. Look at the image, blink, then ask yourself what you felt when you opened your eyes. That first emotion is the same reaction your audience will have. The other method is comparison. Take a screenshot of the feed or the search results, then drop your thumbnail right in the middle using any editor. Compare it side by side with the others, and be honest with yourself. What do you actually think about yours? If something feels off, fix it. Simple as that.
But how do I know if I'm on the right track? How am I supposed to judge my own work? Every time I look at it, I think it's great.
And yeah, that's normal. It's hard to look at something you worked on for hours and admit it's not good enough yet. So here's a more objective way to handle it. When you look at your thumbnail, ask yourself, would I actually click on this video? Does it clearly say what this video is about? Does it trigger a specific feeling? And don't stop there. Create your own questions. That's how you'll know if the work is truly good, or if it still needs one more pass. With this, you'll be able to create insane thumbnails that completely blow your competition out of the water. But thumbnails alone won't get you all the clicks. So let's move on to the next piece of the puzzle, titles. Your title should work as an extension of your thumbnail. Remember that idea of telling a story without words? This is where the words come in. The title is basically the caption to your image. The thumbnail grabs attention. The title is what seals the click. This is where you highlight the main goal of the video. Think about who you're targeting and why they'd care. Try to keep your title under 60 characters. That way it shows fully on any device. You can go a little over, but everything that truly matters should be in those first 60 characters. Anything after that is just extra. Figure out your main keyword, the real reason someone would click, and push it as close to the beginning of the title as possible. And make sure the phrase is easy to remember. Think shareable. You want someone to tell a friend, yo, have you seen this video? Just search. Once you've got a solid title, remember, anything good can still be better. Now it's time to refine your work. Start by highlighting a problem. and clearly offering a solution. That problem can be yours, your audience's, or even someone else's, but it instantly creates connection and gives people a reason to click. Then add a sense of urgency. Why should someone click your video right now and not later? Lean on credible sources. When respected people or trusted institutions back up what you're saying, viewers are way more likely to believe you too. Speak in the active voice. The subject, you or the viewer, should be the one taking action. And talk directly to the person watching. And don't forget, be dramatic. What you're saying matters. If you believe it's important, make sure that energy comes through. A small but effective trick: capitalize your titles. Start each word with a capital letter, and for the most important words, go all caps. Just don't overdo it, or it'll backfire. And remember, some words grab attention all on their own. Use words like main, best, fastest, insane, crazy, wow, cried. For educational channels, lean into words like DIY, easy, step by step, simple, game changing, fast, and now.
John was frustrated. Should he just sell the same thing as his competitor? No, not a chance. He wanted to be better. So he ditched his failed marketing idea and asked himself, what do people actually want to hear? The very next day, there was a line of people waiting at his stand. Great, John.
It's the small details that separate average creators from winners, and now you know them. But there are still a few things you need to keep in mind. First, don't forget this. Around 70% of people watch YouTube on their phones, so don't add tiny details to your thumbnails. They'll disappear on a small screen. Also, never bet everything on just one option. Always have at least 3 backup titles and 3 backup thumbnails. When you post a video, if one doesn't perform well, swap it out and test another. You won't always get it right on the first try, and that's normal. And since you made it this far, I'll give you an unfair advantage over anyone who clicked away early. Here's a list of title formats I constantly see working on YouTube, so pay attention. Just adding how-to any video where you teach something or even do something difficult already gives you a massive edge. That's what people come to YouTube for, and it also helps a lot with search. Another strong one is, I'm doing this in X time, where X is the length of the video itself. Using the current year also works really well. It makes people feel like your video is up to date. Just remember, it comes with an expiration date. List videos stand out too, like 7 things you should know. Questions are always a great option. They rank well in search, spark curiosity, and people instantly connect when they see a question they've already asked themselves. And one last powerful trick: break common beliefs. Take something most people accept as true and say the opposite. That tension alone will make people click just to find out why the normal idea might be wrong. I hope you wrote these down, because they never go out of style around here. So, are you starting to see YouTube differently now? Take a moment to analyze the videos with the most views when you're scrolling YouTube. Learn from others. Notice what's different from what I talked about here, and test it on your own channel. You're leaving this video thinking very differently from most creators out there. Now, you don't just understand why titles and thumbnails deserve more of your time. You know exactly how to create great ones yourself. Like I showed you earlier, a single video can get 200 times more views than your channel average. And it all starts with what makes people click. Because let's be real, it doesn't matter if YouTube shows your video to 200 times more people if not a single one feels like clicking. But don't think this is everything you need to know. Clicks don't mean much if people leave in the first minute, and that's exactly what I'll help you fix in the next episode of this playlist. So why wait? It's right there. And please, don't be a poor John.